Been a long day, to be honest. Actually woke up pretty early and started building out the landing page for my LUTs. Now, I'm speaking quietly because it is kind of late, so I don't want to wake up everybody here. But this is a series of me building $1 million personal brand. So the way these videos go, I start with a bit of a Q&A, and then we kind of go into a bit of a brainstorming session, a bit of reporting and planning the next steps for growing my business or my personal brand. So we're going to start with a Q&A. Can I convert low-paying clients to high-paying clients? And number two is, what is the one key thing to starting a personal brand? What style do I go for? What do I post? All that stuff. Thank you in advance. Well, the second question is, it's very nuanced. It's not very easy to answer. However, can you convert low-paying clients to high-paying clients? Well, yeah, you can. And there's one really good way of doing it. So convert low-paying clients into high-paying clients. First of all, it's really hard. It's hard, but it's doable. So because the expectations are set, however, these expectations could be managed, meaning that you can tell your clients that it depends on how many clients you get. If you're capped out, if your capacity is full, then you need to move low-paying clients from the roster and replace them with higher-paying clients. And you let the low-paying clients know that, hey, listen, from this moment going onwards, the price is X much or whatever it is. And then you let them know, right? You set the expectation, like going forward, this is the price. And we have clients coming in and we can't service you anymore unless you want to pay this price. Now that is a more glamorous way of doing it, but in a nutshell, that is how you do it. You just tell them, right? It's like, hey, listen, I can't service you at this price anymore because of X, Y, Z. You always want to give people a reason. And because you are limited with how many clients you can work with, as long as you're at capacity, you want to, slowly replace the clients. That's the best way of doing it. You can't just go in there and be like, this is the price going forward. Then they're gonna leave you and you're gonna be left with nothing. The other question is, what is the one key thing to starting my personal brand? I'm getting a lot of these questions, like how to start a personal brand. First of all, you can go click the link below, join the Creator Lab. The other thing is, you just started. Like, you have to start a brand with an end in mind. So what's the thing you're going to sell? You want to start it with the product. You are the product in a way, but you want to have something to sell from the start. Once you have something to sell from the start, then you can decide like what's the content is going to be, because every single piece of content needs to lead to your product. Build context around your product, around your offer. And that's how you start. Build from whatever you want to sell to your brand. You reverse engineer what needs to be done. What style do you go for? Like, I can't decide that for you. There's many styles you can go for. What do you post? I kind of explained it already, and all that stuff doesn't really mean anything. I don't know what all that stuff means. You post content that builds context. That's how I don't call it content pillars. I call it context pillars, because what people want is context about what you do, who you are, how you do it, how you're different, what results you're getting. They need context so they can buy your offer. So with that specific thing in mind, you can reverse engineer what do people need to know about your offer so that they buy your stuff. All right, that's enough for the Q&A. Now let's move into the other stuff. There has been a bit of a change and we're implementing that change. So I kind of decided in terms of like what I want to do, like actually. Let me share. I've been building this page. So we have not fully built out yet. It's missing the images. This is for the LUTs. I kind of tested it on my story. I got positive response. And I think I will launch it first and then try to push out or scale this a little bit to a certain revenue per month. And then we're going to try complementary products. So there's no video yet because I haven't filmed the VSL. However, this is it. This is pretty much it. pretty simple, pretty straightforward. It's gonna have more images and give your content that top 1% look in a single click. So targeting more, I guess you could say, broader audience. But then I have a bunch of clients who are doing well that struggle with two things. They want the look, the good look, because they see my content and they're like, oh, I want the similar look. So obviously they need to have a camera for the best look, right? You need to have the good setup to be able to achieve these things. You can do it with the phone as well, but it's not going to look the same, obviously. Photos, self-explanatory. With photos, these presets work a lot better. I'm going to separate the photos from videos, from video LUTs. I sell them separately, maybe as an order bump to get a little combo package, I guess. I sold this last year as a complete collection, but I think selling them separately could also work as well. I'll have to try it. But we're going to start with just the video LUTs because, I mean, that's what I'm known for and that's what I've been doing a lot. Everything is almost written except some of this stuff at the bottom of the page. So this is what this is all about. In terms of content, every video I say that, oh, I need to do the content, but every time I sit down to script this stuff, it's just always, my plan changes a little bit, but now it's locked in. So I'm going for the very cinematic look. I filmed so much B-roll over the last couple of days that it's just it's crazy. I missed doing that and it was fun. So now the goal is to just kind of monetize this. Thinking about the product specifically, what the main thing now is like, how can I create more products or an entire ecosystem of products? To be fair, I don't think that even matters because the main thing right now, what matters is getting traffic to it. I've been losing very little amount of followers on a daily, I think like 10 followers a day, because I haven't posted any content. Everything is about fitting within the ecosystem because I'll be focusing on creating better content and how to create that authority and how to use lights and all that stuff, because that's what I like the most. I experiment with that the most. So the way I see everything, editors right now need to become videographers because people will need more. Like AI can literally, not yet, but AI will be able to do editing within the next few years for sure. I think that's where we're heading. Videographers require physical skill, understanding of more creative direction. Actually, that's a different take, but video editors need to become videographers. And videographers need to become creative strategists, creative directors. Let's just say creative strategist. They need to be able to build a world. They need to be able to create a narrative, right? Obviously, bigger teams, bigger brands have multiple teams doing, multiple people responsible for it. But generally, as a videographer, you can easily skill stack to become a creative director, creative strategist, whatever you want to call it. So being a creative, let's look at a skill stack. What do you need to do? So for an editor to become a videographer, I mean, it's very simple. You just learn how to use a camera. And you don't necessarily need to have your own camera, right? You can get hired and go work with a certain personal brand and work with that brand, scale them up. I mean, there's very big demand now for such people, for these videographers. A lot of personal brands experience this problem where videographers are just not very proactive, or they're not really innovating. They're just doing what they're told to do, which is a bit of a problem, because if you have a videographer, you shouldn't really need to tell them what to do. They should know like what needs to be done. They should be proactive. They should give you suggestions. What B-roll shots, what ideas to do, like scripts, stuff like that. I think that's very valuable. As an editor, you can do scripting, you can do editing, offering ideas. It's still valuable, but the future is heading towards this. And actually, this. I think that's more important. This has been a prominent thing for a while now. Videographers repositioning themselves as strategists, because nobody buys just videography services. That's what I'm saying. Nobody buys just video editing services. People buy results, more views, more leads, more clients, primarily. So with that in mind, editors becoming videographers, videographers becoming creative strategists. So what kind of skills do you need for this to happen, essentially, to become this creative strategist guy? Well, it's very simple. You have to understand all the basic stuff about branding. Like, what makes a brand a brand? So how do you create a feeling? How do you create a brand? Like, how do you create a narrative? Branding 101, the filming style, the lighting style, all that stuff, like it kind of falls under branding. So you kind of need to understand. You obviously need to know all the videography basics. Kind of falls under branding. I could say like lighting, understanding cinematography, all the movements, how to film it, also editing as well. So I guess it's more like a practical skills. And then strategy is probably a thing as well that we could put on the list. So all in all, you need to know how to create aesthetic brand. You could say aesthetic authority brand, but the way I view branding, the way I view Instagram is it's your like mood board, your Pinterest, your vision board. You want to present the life that you are living and the life you want to live. And I used to do that previously, but I kind of steered away from it because I was consumed by these other people's ideas. And I don't think it's a bad thing, but it took me away from what I just love to do. So that's why I'm back doing what I'm doing. I'm talking about videography, editing, and all these other skills that I learned. They're really well suited to become a creative strategist. We're not just talking about creative strategists, meaning that, oh, here's what the creative should look like, but more of a big picture. A lot of personal brands use videographers, private, they hire them full time. They work with them together and their brand just blows up. Mike Thurston has done it. If you guys don't know Luke Davis on IG, Iman has done it himself, Iman Gadzi. And I'm sure there's plenty more of these guys. Those guys understand the value of a brand, high status, authority, aesthetic brand, where you build this vision board, not just random content on IG, right? So I don't know why I'm drawing a tile, but each one of these posts should somewhat be inspiring. Like, people should feel FOMO, for sure. So that's what I've done at the start for my own brand. And that's what I helped others do. A big idea right now is just like, okay, well, how can I just create content for myself and get paid doing it? So we kind of create this cycle: content, products, and we go back to content. So each feeds each other. So the content brings traffic to the products. More traffic I get to the products, better feedback I get from the people. I create content about the products. We're kind of all over the place. I still lack a clear content plan. Like, I felt like I'm gonna do all these things, but I think I just need to step by step break it down. It's impossible to do what I'm planning on doing, to create daily content. I mean, maybe it is possible because what's his name? Adrian, OMG Adrian on Instagram. He did it pretty well. He planned the content out extremely well and his content was good. But how can I do it? My idea right now is to kind of maybe keep it to 2 reels a week and 1 YouTube video a week, because I'm not going to repurpose content. It's going to be unique pieces of content. The goal that I'm aiming for, I've done some number math. I need to get about, if I'm posting every day, right? If I'm posting 30 videos a month, I need to get about 30,000 views per video, with call to actions including, or people going and checking out my profile. If I'm selling a $47 product, so realistically, we're gonna get like 1%. Actually, probably need like 60,000 because a lot of people rewatch. Maybe 45K per video. 1% goes to my website, and then on a low end, 1%. This is so weird. It's not like 1% converts. Okay, so we have 1% to the website. We have 1% of conversions. So 1% of 45,000 is 450. And out of 450, we get, let's say 1%, so let's say 4 sales a day. So that turns out to be 64, let's see, $130. So that's if I post every single day and each of my videos gets 45,000 views. So if I can make videos that get 100,000 or 200,000 views, I increase this flow of people. And I mean, if I can optimize this, that's probably going to be better. I think we want to go for 3%. That would be probably the best. But then this take is probably, the order bump is about 25%. Oh, you can't even see this every time. So this is 25%, the order bump take. So 1 in 4 buys it. So instead of 130, it's like math is hard, 150. So 150 a day. That's if one of my videos gets 45,000 views. So if I increase this to, let's say, 100,000 views, how much does that? 45,000 times 7. 14, 21, 35. So 400,000 views a week. Doing this with just 2 reels a week, it's kind of hard, because you don't know what's going to pop off. And if you don't know what's going to pop off, then you don't get enough tries to do it. However, if you are making cinematic reels, if you're making like art, quote unquote, I think it's easier to get views, because I'm kind of tired of the talking head stuff. That's kind of, everyone's making the same stuff. I feel more like creating art is more important. The art is subjective. Like, how do you monetize it, right? There's different ways of doing it. These numbers are very conservative. Could be better, could be worse. That doesn't include YouTube videos, because people that watch YouTube videos are more bought into your brand. They're more in it, right? They have more trust. They like you more. And, well, they obviously know you better. So for YouTube, these numbers might be a bit higher, specifically from YouTube videos. But I haven't cracked YouTube, and I have no idea what I'm doing. I'll have to figure it out. I feel like I need to just I need to plan the first 2 reels and just post them. And they have to be related to how do I promote my LUTs in it. And I don't want to do like those short 7-second videos. Could be good filler content if I make conscious or whatever proper 2 reels a week, I can make 4 to 5 like shorter ones, like motivational for 14, 15 seconds, 15-second motivational videos, inspirational videos, maybe something with light. I would need to do some research and see what's working. I want these reels to be really good, story driven, more thought out, more B-roll. Nothing like what I've done recently. Oh, by the way, if you're wondering what I've been doing today, because it's so late, we've been working on a project for school.com. So that's why it's been so late. I didn't only work on the landing page and I didn't finish it, right? Because it's not finished. Aesthetic authority. But the premise is give your content a good look, the top 1% look in a single click, because that's what LUTs are. They just single click and it works. Maybe this video will illustrate, just like boom, like that and like that. Actually, when you record in OBS, it's not as high quality, so it might not look as good. And it's also like just one light, not much color difference, so it's not gonna illustrate as well. But that's the main idea.